Hi everybody, I'm Matrix Andrea, and today we're going to continue our playthrough of Dark Souls 3, this time going into the Cathedral of the Deep on New Game Plus. So let me show my build, and then we'll get started. Alright, let's get moving. So where I am right now is immediately after I killed the Crystal Sage, and the pathway to the Cathedral of the Deep is up here, and there's something that we need to progress further into the game before we go into Faron Keep. On the right is the Herald's armor set, if you're interested in getting that. And again, with the Slumbering Dragon Crest Ring, you can run right up on top of an enemy and even touch them, and you'll still not be noticed until you do something, as long as they're not looking at you. There's some ashes down here by this NPC, so I'm going to kill him and pick those up. And then there's another NPC on the stairway up here that we're going to have to kill, otherwise he'll hassle us. Dressed like a bandit, and he's even using the spider shield. Ordinarily, I run past all the enemies in this next area, but I'm actually going to kill the dogs and such so we can pick up the items around here. Wow, that dog teleported right on top of my head. Most of the time I just throw Alluring Skulls and I run past everything while they're busy. Maybe I'll do that here, just so I can kill everything. Although I guess that didn't work out too well, ha ha ha. With her, I always keep 3 Ashen Estus flasks and 12 of the regular Estus, because I use Great Heal and different types of magics. Sometimes. That was way more trouble than it was worth, but still, I wanted to kill everything so I could have a leisurely stroll up to the cathedral without the dogs teleporting behind me, which actually does happen. So when we go in here, we'll find Gale, and he'll invite us into the painted world of Ariamus, but I'm not going to go in there because I don't really like that DLC or the bosses involved.
Merciful goddess, mother of the forlorn, who have no place to call their own, please bear witness to our resolve. Fire for Ariandel. Fire for Ariandel. And the ash to kindle flame.
If you talk to Gale at that point, he'll invite you into the world of Ariandel, or rather, he'll invite you to touch a fragment of a painting that he's holding, and then you can get sucked into it. The zombies out here will flail around if you attack them with fire swords, fire weapons. And this is an Estus flask shard right here. We'll take a quick run through the graveyard and get where we're going. If my one hit hadn't killed them, they would flail around for a few seconds while you could get a second hit. And then over here's a shortcut. Well, not right here. There is a... There is an undead bone shard down here at the bottom of the stairway. But the shortcut I was talking about is actually up here on the right. And this leads to the bottom of the cathedral so you can get in easily. That body right there has the Curse Ward Great Shield, which is the one that the Pursuer was using in Dark Souls 2. I don't have enough strength with her to use Great Shields, so I'm just going to pass it up. Gotta watch out for the sneaky little thralls. They're hanging on the walls up above you, and they'll drop down on you when you're not paying attention if you're not careful. I always make that jump right here because it's a little bit easier to deal with some of the enemies. You can see the thralls on the ceiling or on the roof right there. So I'm going to drop down on them and kill them. Otherwise, if you're running along the main path down there, they'll drop down on you and attack you. And it's kind of tough dealing with 2 or 3 of these guys at the same time. These Gravekeeper guys, I think, are kind of tough to fight, so I'm going to use my Alluring Skulls to try to send them in a different direction. And then hopefully they'll leave me alone while I run into the Cathedral itself. Slimes here that are weak against fire. And then we can open up our first shortcut once we get through this room right here. The elevator itself is not the only part of the shortcut. You got to open some doors too. So if you only take the elevator down, you're going to get stuck when you try to come back. So you got to open some doors. Alright, and that'll let us not have to run through all the area that we just came through to get back here. And then there's a couple of giants in here too that we're going to take out. And they drop large Titanite shards if you're playing new game and you're trying to upgrade your weapons. Through that door right there you can find the Saints abide in. And we're also going to get invaded by Longfinger Kirk here. I will backtrack a little bit and show you where the upper pathway would have taken us down. And here comes Kirk. You see him spawning in over there. Same trick as usual. I'm going to do the R2 stab with my Astora greatsword and knock him down. And I've already got a barbed straight sword, so I'm going to end up throwing that one away, but let's backtrack and I'll show you what areas we'd have to come through if we hadn't dropped down to fight that giant. When those guys buff up, they swing their mace, and if it hits the ground, it'll cause little proximity mines that explode after a few seconds, or timed mines. And then in here, we've got another enemy that we're going to have to fight. But it's easy enough to take care of. You just get him stuck in the doorway and you can hit him right in the face, but he spits curse clouds at you. Admittedly, he's not cooperating right now. Normally, he just stands in front of the doorway and I hit him a few times. And you get one of Aldrich's rings from killing that thing. Alright, if you go up, you can get the Seek a Guidance miracle up there, and there's a mimic over here, and you can get a divine tome from it. A dark divine tome, so don't give it to the priest that you rescue from the undead settlement. You got to give that to a witch near the end of the game, and she'll interpret it for you and give you miracles. If you give it to the priest from the undead settlement, then you end up having to fight Egon, because he'll get PO'd at you. So we're going to kill this other giant and a bunch of slimes in here, and then we'll move upward. I like to lure as many of these guys over here as possible before I start dealing with the giant, because I don't like to be surrounded by these slimes. And he drops another large Titanite shard here. This Drang equipment, I didn't realize when I first played this game, but I suppose that's supposed to be Drang Laik from Dark Souls 2. And then one of these bodies has a pale tongue. I'm going to offer one of those to the Longfinger Covenant so I can get the proper bow in the next level. We could go straight to the boss from here, but I'm going to run around and go through the rest of the stage. Once you open those doors, it lets in an onion knight. Although it's not the same one that we're used to. He's tricking us. I'm going to cut his dialogue out. So his voice sounds different. He's telling us that he's looking for treasure. So I wonder who in the world that could be. Let's go find out.
Thought you could outwit an onion. Well, say hello to the nice giant. He adores visitors. Where's the old giant? What? Where's the bloody giant? Just what have you done? How dare you? Have you no shame? Damn, 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 and damn, damn, damn.
So I've never not killed those giants before Patches brings you down into the pit where they normally stay. And he always gives me that dialogue about wondering where they are. So the second shortcut is over here. And I am going to rest at the bonfire before I move on to get my Estus back. Again, we could still go straight to the boss, but we're going to go up into the rafters and find another bonfire. And there's another deep cleric up here that if you kill gives you a ring that gives you more attunement slots, but I've already got it, so I'm not gonna kill him again. If you don't bait this guy out, he'll come up behind you while you're fighting something else and makes it more dangerous. See, there's another cleric with a halberd coming up at you, and if you don't kill the axe guy, then you get stuck between the two of them. And all these little guys, they're all back because I sat back at the bonfire. They're the ones that I was shooting down when I was coming up here to start with. If you look down, you can see that that's the area that I had to climb to get up into the front doors. You can see that the rafters are a lot wider in Dark Souls 3 compared to the way they were in Dark Souls 1. I think they were too thin in Dark Souls 1, and it made it hard to run around on places like this, so I'm glad that they made them bigger. Knew that was going to happen. I'll come back up in just a minute. I'll cut the video ahead. So what I should have done here was baited that guy and chasing me around so I could safely drop. Instead I got stuck in the corner over there so I couldn't move. And then you can get over here and find patches. And these worm people, they're weak against fire. They'll flail around if you attack them with a fire weapon. And I'm going to cut Patch's dialogue out. You just don't forgive him and you can get a rusted gold coin from him. So let me cut the video ahead. Alright, so I was mistaken. You don't have to forgive him at this point. He just gives you a coin if you say you know who I am. And then we can run up to the next bonfire. Before you take off from Patches, if you've got the souls for it, buy the Onion Knight's armor because you have to rescue him again if you want to progress his quest line. But let's move on to the next bonfire. If you equip the torch, it'll take the maggots off of you or the leeches so they can't make you bleed. And I'm going to offer a pale tongue to Rosaria so that I can summon Yellowfinger Hazel or next time I get into Farron Keep, and then I can get the proper bow gesture. Because I've already got the cat ring from Cirrus. If you offer a pale tongue to Rosaria, Cirrus gets mad at you. Also, you can see that you can change your appearance or respec your character there, so she's pretty invaluable. Also, if you kill Kirk, his body's over here, so you can get his armor. And now we're going to go fight the boss. For this boss, you can summon Henri and Horus, but I'm not going to do that. No reason for me to summon. Alright, let's do this. And that's all there is to it. The reason we came here first before Farron Keep is because you have to get the small doll so you can get into Irithyll later on, and if you don't come here first, you get stuck at a wall on a bridge with a giant monster chasing you. But I think that'll do for this video. You got to see me die, and I had to run back to where I was at. So I guess that'll do for this video. I'll see everybody again in the next one when we do Farron Keep. Thanks for watching.